Hey guys, it's Victoria and I am indeed back from Air Force basic training, and this is going to be kind of a hard video to film because of the circumstances and the fact that I didn't graduate, but I'm going to be doing a video on why I didn't graduate, and it's going to be kind of different because I'm not going to explain exactly what happened because it's personal and it's something that I just don't necessarily feel like I want to share, especially on the internet, because it's something that I just don't see that's fair. And there's a lot of people who are getting kicked out of the military for no reason, and they're really good people. And I even was told by my MTIs and some drill sergeants that there was no reason for me to have not graduated. I was so close to finishing, and it is what it is. But I wanted to go ahead and share, my experience, because I did, I was there for, 9 weeks. So I do have some experience and I can help you excel at BMC. So I'm super excited to be able to sit down and share these videos with you, because I know that I'll be able to use my experience to help people, even though I didn't get the outcome that I wanted. But I really hope that you find this helpful, because I know my other Air Force videos have been pretty helpful to a lot of you. So let's go ahead and get started. So my overall BMC experience was honestly pretty good. I wouldn't trade it for anything. Honestly, if I could, I would go back. Like, it really shaped me into a totally different person, and it really gave me a different perspective on life in general. And just the fact that I was willing to sign up for the military and go to basic training and just like all those things, it's the most motivational, like influential place you'll ever go. And you realize like literally all the other people, that's their same goal, like they're coming to better themselves. And there's a couple times where you're just like, oh my god, what the frick did I get myself into? And then you're like, do I really have to live with 52 other girls because drama? But besides that, you really do learn to work together and everything. But pretty much my first night at BMT wasn't bad at all. I mean, thankfully I had an early flight, so I was able to get in bed by 10 o'clock, because you'll hear a lot of stories where people don't go to bed until like 4 a.m. and then they have to get up at 5. But thankfully, I feel like if you have a pretty early flight, you'll be the first flight to be formed whenever you actually get to Lackland. But I'm not sure with the coronavirus if people are actually going to Keesler, so I don't know what's going on with all that. But pretty much, I mean, whenever I got to the PRC, I was one of the first people to get formed. I will say for me, I was lucky and my box nasty was not frozen. Everyone around me, they were banging their sandwich or their frozen juice box on the armchair, but thankfully I was sitting there chowing down on my sandwich, and people said it was nasty, but it really wasn't. Like, if you had soggy bread, then yeah, and if it was frozen, then yeah. But I mean, overall for our first meal there, I mean, it wasn't, I mean, don't worry, like the DFAC is honestly not as bad as people think, but it is one of those things where it's like you're eating the same food every day. So it does get old, and it kind of just blends together, but you don't really have a choice and you only have 10 minutes to eat. So I mean, but anyway, so my first night, what did we do? We had a 5-minute shower. We were like, excuse me, like we're just gonna have, like, we didn't even, like, I mean, you don't even think. And honestly, the shower situation, it's not even that bad. Like, don't freak out. You literally don't even freaking realize it. And then by the time you're in like the end of first week, you're like singing in the shower with all the girls. So I mean, you literally don't have time to think about anything. Thankfully, we got like 20 minutes to shower. It depended. Okay, no, the first few weeks we got about 10, I don't know, we had a female MTI and a male MTI, so it really depended on the situation. Like, he was more like, y'all got 10 minutes, y'all better be out. But like our female MTI was like, y'all are females, y'all need a little extra time. So she was, and I mean, we usually performed really well. So I mean, if you perform really well, then they're gonna like give you like a little extra time. I mean, I'm not guaranteeing that, but I mean, if you're actually doing like what you're supposed to be doing and you're not causing trouble, then yes, they're gonna be a little bit more lenient with you, and they're gonna be like, wow, you're actually not a terrible flight. Which my flight was amazing. I loved them. They were the sweetest girls ever, and I love them so much. Let's not cry. They were just amazing, and we all worked together. I mean, yes, there was drama, and yes, there was storming, and yes, it was female cat fights, but we really did, at the end of the day, we came together and we really got the job done. And I was really thankful to be with them, because I would hear a lot of other stories about other girls' flights, and I'd be like, wow, that sounds like a horror story. But overall, I mean, we really did work together and everything. Another thing that I want to mention is to always have your water bottle everywhere you go. You're gonna have to have it for the latrine. Everywhere, you take that water bottle everywhere except the defect. So that's my little, that's basically your Bible. Keep your water bottle with you at all costs. So church at BMT is honestly the best thing ever. I went to CP. You go to a religious education class if you want. You get 2 hours of religious services on Sunday. So I'm really thankful for that and the fact that they do honor that. But I mean, obviously it's a constitutional right. So I mean, they can't really deny you. But regardless, I'm really thankful for that and the fact that I was able to go to church. It was honestly the best thing ever. I loved it so much. And it was also grilled cheese Sunday. So that was wonderful. They are nothing like Sonic grilled cheeses, but honestly, when you hear people saying happy Sunday and it's grilled cheese and Jesus Day, like, you literally, like, are the happiest person in the world, because Sundays is like what gets you through. And I will speak to the truth. I will speak to the truth on that the days are super slow, but the weeks go by fast. That's really true. I was not expecting that to be true, but literally I would be like out doing, you know, drill, or I'd be doing PT, and then I'd be all of a sudden it'd be reveille, and then we'd be in bed, and I'd just be laying in bed like, how the heck did we already get to the bed? Like, you know, like, how is it already lights out? EC duty honestly does suck. I mean, I never really got the hang of it until I went to Medhold, but Medhold's a totally different story. Let's not talk about that right now. And I'm going to make a totally different video on Medhold so you know what to expect if you have to, unfortunately, go there. I really pray to God you do not have to, because you want to avoid Medhold at all costs. But if it does happen to you, at least you know you're going to be prepared if you want to watch that video whenever I make it. Medhold is totally different than line flight, and that's what you'll hear if you go to Medhold. You'll hear back in line flight. It was really hard. It was really hard for me to adjust, but that's a story for another time, because I want this dedicated on, you know, actually like line flight, like BMT. Overall though, I mean, I know that this is kind of like not like really in depth and it's kind of all over the place, but like overall, BMT is not hard. I will be completely honest when I say that. It's not hard. You have to follow the rules, which they literally tell you what the rules are, and they literally give you a schedule, so it's really hard to mess up, besides, I mean, obviously little things. So I will definitely tell you, attention to detail, you'll hear that a lot. And the best advice I can give you is to study your chain of command, like the top part, because you're not going to worry about the bottom part until you actually, you know who your MTI and, you know, your squadron supervisor and all that stuff is. But know the top part, like, you know, like President Trump is the chief of command. See, I don't even know if I said that right. Probably not. It's been a while. It's been like a month since I was at BMT. And having, you know, that drilled in your head every day. But regardless, like, know, you know, that part of the chain of command, and know your rank structure. Honestly, knowing your, like, you will be ahead of the game if you know your rank insignias and the structure and everything. And honestly, it's not that hard to memorize, but I would just recommend, because I was so bad at doing that. Like, I don't know why. I even had flashcards and everything, but trying to memorize that at BMT when you're already dealing with all the other stress of trying to get your locker and inspection order and everything, it was a freaking disaster. So please memorize things that you can before. So along with, you know, memorizing things, please prepare for PT. There are so many people who get recycled for no reason, and I say no reason, like, because this is something that's totally preventable, because if you work out before basic, you're gonna do well at PT. But strength days are no joke. Running days came natural to me. I was fine with running for 30 minutes. You're running 32 minutes on concrete, which sucks. Use your shoes. Bring shoes. I don't care what kind of shoes they are. Do not use the ones that they issue you. You will thank me later, I promise you. Those shoes are literally, as soon as they gave them, like, we got our first clothing issue and they gave those to me, I put them in my civilian luggage, and then I threw them out before I went home, because those shoes will hurt your feet. They will give you stress fractures. They are horrible. I'm not saying that this happened to everyone, but 99% of people who had issues, it came from those shoes, and also you didn't break them in, so that's just adding to the cause. Like, please bring your own shoes. It doesn't matter if they look like highlighters. There was someone who was, I think, in my squadron that had highlighters. They were literally bright neon shoes, and they were fine. You're not going to get yelled at for having your own tennis shoes, which I am so thankful for, because the shoes that they issue you, that you unfortunately pay for, they're trash, and they can hurt you, and you will not graduate, and you don't want that. So that brings me to my next point. You know, my MTI told told us this, is it the week? I don't know if it was week 0 or week 1, but he was pretty much telling us, like, because we were his last flight, he was telling us we know the difference between pain and soreness. And he's saying that because he's obviously done this for like 2 years, so he's pushed flights, so he knows what he's talking about, and he's seen, you know, injuries and all this stuff. So you know the difference between if you're hurt or if you're just sore. You're working out every day besides Sunday, and even Sunday you're still probably going to be doing 1x3s, and I can explain those later, but you're going to be pretty much working out for 2 months straight, and you're if you're not, you know, you're not conditioned, you're gonna be more prone to hurting yourself because your body's not used to doing that every day hardcore. Which strength days, I mean, they were hardcore, but you do stretches, and please do the stretches right. But like running, you can seriously hurt yourself, you know, if you're not, you know, just doing a little bit of running every day. But I really encourage you, because they are recycling people. I'm not sure with the coronavirus how that's going to go, and if they're actually shortening BMT or what is going on. But there was people who was getting recycled the 3rd week PT test, the 1st week PT test. If you're far off, or even like there was people who were being sent home for like 10 seconds off their time, like, just dedicate yourself now, because you're gonna, like, you want to graduate. That's the whole point. And they're not kidding, like, down there, unfortunately. And it's really stupid that they're sending people home for being 5 seconds off their run time, but it's true, it's happening, unfortunately. And you want to graduate, and that's why I'm pushing you and telling you right now to dedicate yourself now, because you need to be physically in shape. For me, I did work out before I went. I wasn't super hardcore dedicated, but I did do it because I knew I was going to regret it later, and I was really concerned about my push-ups. Well, funny story, so I was I was fine on my sit-ups, my run, everything, but my push-ups, when I got there, everything flip-flopped, and my run was fine. My push-ups were doing really great, but my sit-ups sucked, and I had no clue why. So really dedicate yourself on those things. And I mean, honestly, if you can't go to the gym, or you're not feeling like working out, just like in your room, doing some push-ups, some sit-ups, and then jog in place. I don't know, just dedicate a little bit of your time. Just dedicate a little bit of your time and do like 10 push-ups a day or 20 sit-ups a day. Like, just dedicate yourself now, because you're gonna thank me later, I promise. You want to pass those PT tests, even like because one, you don't want to go to supplemental PT, but you also don't want to be recycled, because going back a